All right. So the state of rejection, and I'm going to be very, very quick about it, but if you don't know my story, then you need to know that I was a minister for 25 years. At the age of 16, I got saved in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at Jimmy Swaggart's church. What the hell? Do y'all know something I don't know? Where were y'all at? All right? And so I get saved at Jimmy Swaggart's church. I immediately go into the ministry. And that's the course of my life for the next 25 years. I was married at 20. We quickly, developed a family, and that's my career, that's my passion, that's my mission. I didn't know there was any other way to serve humanity. I didn't know any other role to play in life. And so that goes on for a couple of decades. Well, there's this great book out there that this really tall, dark, and handsome guy wrote called Hope After Faith that can give you all the details of how I came out. But what's important to understand is that eventually I began to perceive very clearly that the identity that I had developed over 2 decades and the identity that everyone associated with me was no longer my identity. It was no longer who I was. When I would look at the pictures that were in the paper, whenever I would encounter someone who called me reverend or pastor, slowly but surely there was a disconnect between who I felt like I really was down on the inside and who they perceived that I was. And so it became my intentions to commit identity starvation. Now, don't get me wrong. I am thrilled over everything that's happened. I am thrilled that this sensational idea of a minister coming out after 25 years has attracted everyone's attention, and it causes wonderful people like you to introduce yourselves to me and to call me all the way up here to Canada to tell my story. I don't regret at all that this took place. I'm thrilled that I have this opportunity with you to hopefully change the course of human history. But that was not the intention. The intention was to commit identity starvation. When I realized that who people thought I was, I no longer was, I wanted to back out very slowly. I wanted to get a regular job. I stopped pastoring full-time in the end of 2010. By April the 10th, 2011, I preached what would become my last Christian message in my wife's cousin's church. Right? By May of 2011, I had joined the Clergy Project. I reached out to the only name that I knew, Bishop Dan Barker. Right? So May of 2011, I'm Googling, trying to figure out, is there anybody else in the world that's got this same problem? A minister who no longer believes. Dan Barker's name comes up. I'd heard about Dan Barker all the way back from the 90s. I call his office, and he calls me back. Do you realize, let me just stop for a second because preachers are always guilty of going down rabbit trails, right? But do you realize just where the hell you're at in human history right now? Do you realize that in the generations to come, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren are going to be jealous of where you were at this point in time in our civilization? Do you realize that you're partaking in the greatest moment that our human species has encountered? You're there. You're shaking hands with Dan Barker and Annie Laurie Gaylor. You're getting your picture taken with Seth Andrews. You know these people. These people know you. And in the years to come, you are going to be